In today's class, we're going to explore why perfectionism develops in the first place while preparing the fundamentals to move into half moon balancing pose. This hatha yoga class is going to look at the fundamentals to get yourself into half moon balancing pose. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Melissa. I have been teaching hatha yoga since 2002 here on this YouTube channel since 2009 and in our membership community since 2011. And this style of class is something that I am going to be releasing in our membership community, short classes where we look at some of the fundamentals and the progressions and regressions to get into some of the classic hatha yoga postures in maybe a little bit more creative way. So if there's certain poses that you are trying to build to in your practice, like for example, forearm plank or downward facing dog on your forearms, then that's something that we're going to be working in building those progressions and regressions in short 30-minute classes in our membership community. And those classes will be coming out in January. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for coming back. This series is a brand new series, and it's going to be similar to series that have been highly requested, the Highly Sensitive Person series. Many of you wanted to return to that, and that's something that we'll probably do later in 2020. But for now, this series on perfectionism was something that was requested by one of our members, Kirsty, and it's going to be very similar to the Highly Sensitive Person series and the Inner Critic series, which have been very popular with my very dedicated students. And so I'm really excited to release this series for you. It takes a deep dive into Pavel Samov's book, Present Perfect. So if you'd like to follow along in Pavel Samov's book, or you like reading, I recommend the book Present Perfect, and it'll allow you to just have that book along with the teachings here in the class. Although what I hear from my students again and again is that it's useful to when you do the teachings in your body in a yoga class, it integrates in a much deeper way. So for today's class, you're going to need a block and a strap, and let's start by resting back. For some centering, you could put a bolster underneath your knees. You're going to actually need 2 blocks and a strap for this class. You can rest back with a bolster underneath your knees, or with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, or your legs out long, your palms on your belly, or your palms turned up beside you. So just start to check in with what position is going to feel best for you today. And begin by feeling the support of the earth underneath you. Letting that tension drain down and out of your body. Each time you exhale, you can release any held tension from your body. And each time you inhale, you can come more deeply into your embodied experience. Feeling your body from the inside out. So as you rest back here, become aware of your feet. Then open your awareness to your pelvis, your pelvic girdle. Noticing your spine from the base of your spine at your tailbone, your sacrum in the middle of your pelvis, your lumbar spine and your low back, your thoracic spine at your rib cage between your shoulder blades, feeling your shoulder blades resting on the ground here. And also noticing your neck. So your feet, your pelvis, your hips, your spine, your shoulders, your neck, and your head. These are the parts of your body that we will be focusing on in preparing you for half moon balancing pose. So that's our physical body. And as you stay resting back here, I'm going to say a little bit more about our mental and emotional body. Many people who are perfectionists are very conscientious, they're hardworking, and they're eager to meet other people's expectations. And part of having these very high standards for yourself means that you feel quite valuable and indispensable. Now, the downside of perfectionism is that you have to constantly strive to meet other people's expectations. So the question might come up, where does perfectionism come from? Why does perfectionism develop? And what does perfectionism stem from? Growing up, it's important that we are mirrored. That means that our actions are seen, acknowledged, and attended to. So when we're young, if we do things like eat our dinner, push a chair around, or clean our dishes, then that we are acknowledged for doing these things. And perfectionism can often be an adaptation due to a deficit of mirroring. If you grew up in a home with an insecure or a narcissistic parent, your job may have been to mirror their hungry ego. As a result, you may have adapted by trying to stand out by being perfect. So for me, it's been useful to mirror myself, to acknowledge myself, and to attend to myself and parent myself as I've grown into adulthood. So today in this class, we're going to practice half moon balancing poses, since the moon reflects the light of the sun. In this way, we can mirror our own internal and eternal light as well. As the moon reflects the light of the sun, When we practice half moon balancing posture, we can connect with our innate capacity for mirroring our own internal and eternal light, the preciousness of our own human lives, our unique value, our perfect imperfection. So that's the intention behind this class. Okay, so you can start to stretch out and, reflect on, that's my intention for the class, but you can reflect on what you want to receive from this class and why you came as well. And we're going to start with some bridge poses. So you're going to lift and spread your toes, come up onto the balls of your feet so your heels are lifted. You're going to inhale here, exhale, press up, and then you're going to inhale, lower. Exhale, press up. 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 Stay up. And then you're going to inhale, open your knees, roll to the outsides of your feet. Inhale, bring your knees together. Inhale, open your knees. Exhale, bring your knees together. Inhale, open your knees. Exhale, bring your knees together. And then you're going to slowly lower down and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, for the next pose, you're going to roll over onto your stomach. Okay, so for this one, you can place your hands by your side, and you're going to, in this pose, just tuck your chin. So maybe I go like this so you can see. So tuck your chin so the back of your neck is long. And pelvic tilt so you reach your sit bones down towards your heels. Draw your navel up. You're going to inhale here. Exhale, you're going to lift your head and then lower. Lift your head and lower. Just lift your head and lower. Exhale, lift your head and lower. Exhale, lift your head and lower. Good job. So we're doing that because in half moon balancing pose, your neck is free in the air. So we're going to be doing a lot more neck strengthening in our classes over the foreseeable future. Okay, next pose is frog bridge pose. So you're going to take your soles of your feet together and you're going to open your knees wide. And hands down by the side of your body. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back through your spine. You're going to inhale here. So we're just, with these poses, we're preparing our hips for half moon balancing pose. We're moving them in lots of different, we're loading them in lots of different ways. This will help to prepare us for half moon balancing pose. And that we're doing that half moon balancing pose today so that we can mirror our own experience. So that's the intention behind the class. So you're going to press into the sides of your feet, lift, exhale, lift. Feel how this works the glutes. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift and hold. and then